Larter.
Okay. Ubumi, good afternoon. Welcome to the Tunnganarniq Show. I am your host. My name is Margaret Noksana. We are broadcasting live here out of the Inuvialuit Communication Society located in Inuvik. On today's episode, we have our lovely guest, Nikita Larter. How are you?
I'm good. This is my last thing before I leave home.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to be here.
Yes. So, the manager here at ICS introduced us over email. We haven't met in person, and I'm a little bit excited to interview someone that I've never met in person before on film.
Likewise.
Yeah. So, I like to start every single episode with the person introducing themselves to the way they would introduce themselves to an elder. So that way we can get to know the guest and who they are and where they come from. So you can just go ahead and do that.
Yeah. Uvangan Nikita Larter, Inuvialuit kivak, ilatka tuktuyaktumin kaimayuat, amamaga Allison Ratty, apapaga Nick Larter, Chicago me, Inuniaktunga. So, my name is Nikita Larter, and my parents are Allison Ratty and Nick Larter, and I was born in Inuvik and raised in Fort Simpson, Northwest Territories, and right now I'm living in Chicago.
Nice. So, I was going to ask, on your promo that we did, it said that your family's from Tunnganarniq. Yeah. So, I recognize the name Allison Ratty. Yeah. So you have probably a lot of cousins in Tuck.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you get to go up to Tuck?
I did. I spent the weekend in Tuck with family's family, and it was the best weekend.
Was it?
Yeah. I haven't been staying in Tuck since I was a child, and I do little day trips every time I come up north. But I got to stay with some family, and I did everything that you can enjoy in Tuck over the weekend.
Yeah.
So
did you go into the ocean?
Yeah, so we got there on July 1st, and they were still doing a bunch of the Canada Day festivities. So we watched those, got eaten alive.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I heard there was a lot of mosquitoes out.
Yeah. And then we did go swimming in the Arctic Ocean over the weekend, and we went quadding, and we went for drives. It was honestly really good.
It must have been really nice.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's always good. I feel like I come back up north every couple of years, and I meet new family every time I'm in town.
I can't believe we've never met then.
I know.
Because it sounds like we know the same people.
Yeah. Yeah. My mom hasn't lived in the ISR for as long as I've been alive. Everybody always asks me how she's doing, but I have some uncles in Tuck, and I have an auntie in Sax. So I try to visit everybody when I'm back home, and then a lot of people, family moved into Inuvik for work and whatnot, so I'm just basking in the love.
Yeah. Can I ask who's your auntie in Sax?
Yeah, Betty Hogak.
Oh, I love Betty.
I know.
So my fiance's from there.
Yeah.
And I lived there for a few years off and on.
Nice.
Coming back, yeah. So I was like, I probably know. And I was trying to think Ratty.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I haven't been to Sax yet, so I really hope someday to go check it out. Because even saying that, my family's from Tuck doesn't feel right, since we, lived in Tuck, we lived in Sax, at Husky Lakes, we live all over. So
yeah,
it feels a little weird to tie it down to just Tuck, but yeah, I feel a lot closer to Tuck now that I've spent some time there with family.
Yeah. If I could say, try to go in the fall.
Oh?
Yeah. It's you drive everywhere with the four-wheeler, the fishing is good, the weather's good, there's no mosquitoes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
got
just
me.
yeah, just go in the fall time
Yeah.
and make sure you have a rod and reel and just
Okay.
just think like it gets dark, campfire, fishing, boating.
What month is the fall?
End of July, definitely August.
Okay.
Yep, and if it's like, you could still go to Kellett Point, and you usually see polar bears out there, and that's where like the ice kind of stays. It's like all rocky. It's like a rocky point.
Okay.
Lots of gravel.
Yeah.
And everyone just goes camping there and just
Well, Candice, if you're listening in, I'm gonna have to come visit you in July.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
I love Sax Harbor in the fall time.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know. One of these days they'll save up some extra pocket money to afford that flight, because I really want to see where my family's from,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's important to me.
And the land is very like flat. You've been to Tuck. It's flat there too, but it's inside. You could drive around the whole island with a 4-wheeler everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's lots of fun.
You miss living there?
I miss being there in the fall time.
Oh, just that part.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll definitely go visiting there. So, I'm assuming Tamara introduced us for a reason, and she explained a little bit over email what you do, and I would like you to just maybe share a little bit more with us.
Sure, yeah. I'm one of those artists who doesn't consider myself an artist, so it's always like honorable when people, ask me how long I've been an artist for. But I dabble in all sorts of like artwork. I have been creative since I was a child. Right now, my favorite like mediums include digital photography, graphic illustration. I've been doing a lot of. I bead. I haven't beaded in a bit, but it is really enjoyable. I'm trying to get into sewing. But yeah, anything I can really get my hands on, it's my happy place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if we can we'll talk about a little bit of each.
Yeah.
But Jason, the editor of Desire, he brought in some work that it's in the magazine that you helped with. So if we can show that.
I'll have to flip to the right page. But yeah, of late, my graphic illustration has been gaining a lot of traction back home. And because I'm not back home, I've kind of been surprised by it actually on this trip, because I've had a whole bunch of people introduce themselves to me and tell me how much they love my artwork, and I'm like, oh.
It's probably exciting.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm, again, very honored when anybody is trying to share my artwork. I'm not actively doing that myself, so it's been really reaffirming by the community to, support my artwork that way.
Yeah.
So, and I can't find it conveniently. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so last summer I was approached by Tunnganarniq to do the graphic illustrations of graduates throughout the pandemic. So in the winter edition of the 2021 magazine, on page 80, you can see a handful of the graphic illustrations that I did for all of the graduates. And it was probably my first big commission, and I honestly was so happy with the outcome.
Yeah.
Shout out to the fan. It was a lot of fun. I really like portraiture, and I really like bold, vibrant colors. And I tried to do something unique for all of the different people I was drawing. And I was very, very satisfied with the outcome. And I got pretty good at it too by the end.
I like that one.
Yeah, I thought that was a really sweet picture.
That's the emerald, right? The rough?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So But I remember getting this picture after I was supposed to be done the project, and Jason was like, "Can you do this for me in a day?" And I was like, "I'll try." And I did. It was the fastest one, and I remember being like, "Oh, I could just pump these out now."
So was graphic art, illustrations, is that self-taught, or did you go to school? Like, did you take classes for it?
Yeah. So I have loved drawing since I was a child. I have like very vivid memories of spending time at like my dad's office after school, and he would make a point of every time he printed documents, they'd always be one-sided, and if they were wrong, he would like put them in a pile for me. So I would go and draw, and I'd always have a stack of paper like that high, and every day I would just be drawing in his office.
Yeah.
So I've really turned to drawing since I was a child, as like an outlet, you know. I was storytelling. I saw one of my nieces or nephews doing that the other day, and I was like, evidently we were all doing that.
Yeah.
But I actually like didn't pick up drawing until like 2 falls ago. And in picking it back up, I realized that I had like I considered it like not worthy of practicing throughout my like childhood and teenagehood. Like people are always amazed when I pick up a pen and paper, and they're like, "Holy shit, you can draw." And I'm just like, yeah, I just thought of it as like a useless skill, basically. And then as I started sharing my work more, thanks to my partner for encouraging me to like get back into it, I started playing around with it. And so I try with each of the projects that I get commissioned for to try something different, you know, push my skill set. So it is self-taught in that sense. I did go to school for, like, I graduated from an art faculty, but the work that I did in school and the work that I do in my day job, like, are, you know, corporate. Like, there's not a lot of creativity involved in that. So throughout the pandemic, I've basically been reconnecting with, like, my love of drawing through, like, a passion kind of lens. So and yeah, people have been commissioning me as they like learn about my work, and so that really kind of keeps me going.
Yeah
That
must be so exciting though. And I love to hear that was like a way for you to just be creative.
It kind of made me sad when I realized how I turned that part of me off for so long, because I didn't consider it like a valid worth of my time. So
do you think it might have came from like being told to pursue something more serious in terms of a career?
I think,
because I think I hear, sorry, I've heard that a lot growing up from older people with the older generation.
Okay.
In terms of like going to school and stuff.
Formalizing passions, I really struggle with that. Like, that's why, like, I do beadwork, I do digital photography, but I've never gone and actively sold my work, you know? And I have a full-time job, you know, so these definitely sit in my pastime, but, like, I actually tried to run like a beading business while I was unemployed for a few months a couple years ago, and I lost all motivation to bead when I had to do it as like my source of income. And so I think there's that tension for me of I do it because I love it and I'm inspired, and as soon as it's make this for me and make it like this, then I'm just like, okay, like I can do that. And so I think that's why I really kind of do commission work better, because, you know, like, I'm not out here drawing like local youth graduating, but now I am. Yeah. So.
You sound just like my sister though. She's an amazing beader. She has a lot of skill, and she's like I just don't care. Like, as soon as it came to selling everything,
Yeah.
she just lost the passion for it. Whereas, like, I just recently took up beading,
Yeah.
and I'm like all excited, loving meeting people, loving chatting. Oh yeah, I could do this. Yeah, definitely in my personality.
Yeah.
to just like be chatty with everybody.
There's a lot to the business side of selling your artwork as well. Because in the past, I've had people also like, are you selling prints of your photography? And I never consider it until the question gets asked. So I've come back, and because I'm getting a lot of like, I don't know, positive interactions with my like artwork now, that obviously fuels me to continue it and do it intentionally. Like, I'm really inspired right now to be making stickers of tuck. You know, I didn't come here expecting to like, want to do that, but here I am.
I feel like though the community that, like the artist community that's here in the north, right now is so supportive, and there's so much interest that it is really, for me, it's inspiring to just try and learn and grow your skills.
I find a lot of my inspiration, not even from Inuvialuit being and doing amazing things as Inuvialuit. It's like other Inuit communities and other indigenous communities even, like reclaiming their cultures. Because like a common thing for me, I'm also trying to learn my language. Is I see other people speaking their languages, and I'm like, I want to do that too. So all the other artists doing all of this stuff definitely encourages me to share mine.
Are you okay if I ask a few questions about our language?
Absolutely.
Your language, yeah. So, like myself, most likely, it's hard to learn. Where have you been learning, or how have you been learning the language? Because at the beginning you sounded really good.
Yes, I mean, when it comes to things like speeches, it's really easy to memorize your intro. And I think that's a great place to start. I've had amazing support from the women at the Cultural Center, Lena, Beverly, and Ethel. And Beverly's absolutely been helping me learn the language, because actually, to show you how far I've come, I came back in 2017 after I graduated university for the first time since I left Inuvik. And I was really nervous. It was my first time being back home. And I had this situation in university where I was encountering people of the world, and we were exchanging what it was like to come from where we came from. And I had like a Colombian friend who I would regularly ask to speak Spanish and share her culture with me, and she was like, now share yours. And I was like, I grew up in the Decho, and I realized at that point I knew more about the Decho than I did about my homelands and my culture. And it made me really hungry to be able to like answer that question. So I came back in 2017, and I came to my cousin Brian and I said, I want to learn Inuktitut. How can I learn? And he was like, you don't speak Inuktitut. So that is how far I've come from. So I now know what language we speak, and I now am actively trying to learn it. So after that happened, Beverly helped me come up with an intro for myself, answer the questions that an elder would ask me. And from there, I have been trying to learn myself. They have a bunch of resources up there for Inuvialuit beneficiaries. So if you are an Inuvialuit in the region, I definitely encourage you to go up there. I could spend every day up there as long as it's not 30 degrees outside. But I I actually came home with so much luggage of books and dictionaries and a grammar book.
They put together like a whole package.
Yeah. And so I brought that all back home and I started learning. And honestly, the thing that gave me the most confidence was like I have like very basic like French knowledge, and I'm really good at reading it. And I mention that because I am trying to get good at reading Inuvialuktun, even though like it's not like it's an oral language, so that's hit or miss.
Yeah.
But I had Beverly help me translate my intro, and I said, "Can you read it to me?" She said, "No, you." And I was like, I don't want to get embarrassed. And I did my best shot, and she was like, that was perfect. And so that really stuck with me. I just needed somebody to believe in me and gently push me, and I did it. And so that's always what I think about when I get nervous of like expanding my knowledge, basically. But yeah, I just read through the dictionary all the time. I try to it's hard to conjugate things, like adding tenses and stuff to like words, so it's hard, but I try to do it, and it's honestly other people believing in me that really helps with that momentum, because I have sisters and friends who are like, I don't know the language either.
Yeah.
And I have an Instagram page for Inuit.
Yep.
And so that's where we practice it. And often, like, you'll see other Inuit influencers on the internet doing, like, a word of the day, or how you might, like, ask these questions, and I just, like, copy.
Yeah.
I copied them.
I was just thinking, because, like, I've just recently started trying to grow my Instagram.
Yeah.
I might just do a word of the day. I had never thought of it like that, but then I run a TV show. I run a TV show every week.
Yeah.
So my mind is constantly on, like you saw, I was constantly emailing, confirming.
Oh, yeah.
Trying
Lots
to figure,
of
like,
logistics.
all of the stuff that goes with coordinating a show.
Yeah.
So my mind is always on that, and I find, because for me, this is my job, but it's also a way to be more creative and involved with our people.
Yeah.
So it takes all of my focus. Like, I can do beadwork.
Yeah.
But even when I'm beading, I'm thinking of what can we do now. So that kind of takes away my focus. My attention is to do this show. And I never think, like, well, how can I try and do more cultural stuff on my Instagram to grow that, to grow my small business.
Yeah.
But that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Just do something simple.
Yeah. It's like every kind of creative endeavor that you try, because like, we poke fun at how people learn how to bead, and then they create a beading account, and then it kind of dies. And I'm absolutely guilty of that. When you were like, let's talk about beading, let's bead, I was like, I moved last fall, and I packed my beads up, and I haven't unpacked them yet. So I am very guilty of not having done it in a while, but I don't try to, like, I don't know, feel bad about that kind of thing. It comes when it comes.
I was looking at your Instagram for beadwork, and I didn't even think to look at the dates. And I was like, oh, she knows how to bead. She knows how to make necklaces. We could totally do beading if she understands the concept of, like, how when I was trying to think of what can we do on the show. Yeah. Yeah. No, beading's great. My last memories of it are, like, hunched over with terrible posture, but a couple years ago, there was an Inuit organization in the South that was doing online beading lessons, and I know a lot of organizations did that in light of the pandemic, but there was one on beaded necklaces, and at that point I had only really made, like, earrings, and then I took this course, and I learned how to bead a necklace in, like, 2 hours, and I got really into it, and that actually became my latest, like, beading medium.
I don't know, there's something I much prefer in making necklaces than earrings right now. But yeah, I got into chokers especially. I thought that was kind of cute. I'm a 90s baby, so I had to make beaded chokers.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy like making them for friends as gifts and trying out like different colors and all that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
When I first started beading, I invested a certain amount into 6 colors. And I was like, white and gold, and then a bunch of colors to go with it.
Yeah.
And I sat down and I watched a YouTube show.
Yeah.
And it was, to do like the ladder stitch to get like the center started.
Yeah.
I only watched that one. It was 10 to 15 seconds of constantly rewinding it.
Yeah.
But to make a tiny little dainty earring,
Yeah.
which is the design that I started with, it took me 4 hours to make the one little earring. And I sat there, this is about 2.5 weeks before Christmas.
Last year?
Yes.
Oh.
Like so 7 months ago.
Wow.
And I sat there and I spent the whole 3 hours.
Yeah.
And it started going like, so I was trying to do like a diamond shape.
Yeah.
And my diamond started going crooked.
Oh.
And I was so frustrated. I put it down and I was like, I am not going to bead. This is way too hard.
Yeah.
And my cousin, who had never beaded before, she was staying over at my house. We decided that we're gonna learn how to bead earrings together.
Nice.
We're gonna do this together. And she spent the whole night watching videos on how to do it.
Oh, okay.
I didn't watch anything.
Yeah.
And then I just tried to watch that 10-second clip. And she took it apart for me and got me back on track. And it took 4 hours.
But you did it.
For one little earring. It was tiny. Like, they're the tiny, dainty studs that I make.
Yeah.
And I have a toddler. And it dropped on the floor and it slid under the couch.
Okay.
And he was 2. And he reached under the couch and he grabbed it and he put it in his mouth and he chewed it and he crushed the earring.
Oh.
Yeah, so he crushed it. All I got is like a crushed
This
little
is my
earring.
first earring.
Yeah, and I'm gonna frame it.
Yeah.
That's how I started beading.
Nice.
And I just did that and I was like, oh, okay, well, now I'm gonna switch from nylon to the fire line because that's expensive.
Yeah.
Once I figured out how to do it.
Yeah.
And now turned into a small business.
Congrats.
So that was exciting and it was frustrating.
Yeah.
And if my cousin wasn't there, I
Yeah.
don't know if I would have done it.
Yeah, no, it's easy to, I mean, once you create beautiful work, obviously you're the best beater. You know, I remember I just came up with like a thing and I wasn't even planning it. Like, I do spontaneous beadwork because in the years that I've been beading, I've observed so many different people's processes. Like, some people always draw out their pattern for sure. Some people use both types of like nylon and fire line depending on the type of beadwork they're doing, right?
Yep.
And I didn't even know how many, like, you know, variables you could do. And I'm also, I'd consider a relatively cheap beader. I invest in nice beads, but like, for instance, like earring hooks, I didn't even realize you could get really fancy with those. So I've learned a lot. And so it's cool to consider your options. Like, you can be a very niche beader, and there are a lot of those types of artists like doing well today. But it's a really fun journey to like learn beading. But it's a love-hate relationship.
Yeah. So do you only bead? Have you only beaded necklaces? Have you gotten to trying to bead like more traditional clothing?
Ooh, that would be really cool. Multi-mediums?
Yeah.
No. So I started out with like earrings and stuff like that. When I was a kid, we had a culture class growing up at Fort Simpson, and that involved teaching all 20 kids how to bead, which I think is impressive if you're that teacher.
Yeah.
And so I can't remember what kinds of things we were beading as children, but I actually did learn beading in like school as a child.
Mm-hmm.
And then I learned really hands-on, so I couldn't do YouTube videos, and I honestly haven't even searched for a beadwork video on YouTube just because I would get frustrated.
Yeah.
So if you were like to teach me a new stitch right here, like that would be the best way for me to learn it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so fortunately I've had like very generous friends, teach me new styles. So I do earrings and necklaces mostly. Edging is kind of fun and nice, but I haven't like incorporated it with like sewing or anything like that. My older sister just took up beading as well, and she is killing it. I visited her a couple weeks ago, and she just busted out this giant thing and was like, look at what I've been doing. And I was like, you've beaded more than I have in years.
Yeah.
And she took up the peyote stitching for like, I don't even know, strings and stuff like that. And I haven't learned that yet, but I definitely like chokers right now. And I'm trying to, as an artist, like in all of my like endeavors, like I want to develop my own style, and I don't know if I can say that I've done that yet in any medium.
That's really hard.
Yeah.
I've talked to people about that, exactly that.
Yeah.
And Tamara often says it's really hard to reinvent the wheel. Like, it's really hard. It's doable for sure.
Yeah.
But other artists here that I know say that there's nothing original anymore. Like, it's just everyone kind of plays off of something different, but they create something new.
Yeah.
Which can be identified to each person.
Yeah.
But it is really, really hard. I think that's one of the challenges that especially new artists will have to face.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole conversation in that alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like, even, I think that's kind of why I was so enamored with chokers, was because you make the big beaded necklaces, right?
I love those.
I know. So many beads. It's a lot of patience, and that was like a nice perk of making it small.
Yeah.
It's half the time, half the beads. So, and it was like a fun play on like, you know, the scrunchy like choker.
Yep.
So, but something I want to like try to step up in terms of beading for myself is like fun color combinations. I really like bold, vibrant colors. And so I'm inspired by like Greenlandic beadwork and all that stuff. So yeah, I hope I get back into it this summer. It's like a really great therapeutic activity to kind of do in your downtime.
Yeah. We're doing pretty good for our conversations. We should talk a little bit about your graphic, or your photography. Yeah. Digital photography, I should say.
Yeah, I dabble in other types of photography. I definitely I have this internal, I don't know, like there's a voice inside me that's always like, you have to work harder, you have to do better to be a more valid, blah, blah, blah. And digital photography kind of comes here and there. I've tried film photography of recent, and I guess that's what I'm speaking to, is that like I'm practicing film photography. I don't consider myself good yet, and so evidently I have a threshold I need to meet.
Yeah. But
I don't know. I remember taking lots of pictures as a child and people being like, "That's a really nice picture." And then I went to school for like a multimedia program, and we basically tried out like all these different mediums in technology, one of which was digital photography, and we had like a giant like tech, I don't know, library, and we had access to really good stuff, and started taking pictures for school. And yeah, I don't know, I try to capture the mundane and places where a lot of my friends and family haven't been, and I really like capturing people. It's nice to like, because everybody likes having a nice picture taken of them.
Yeah.
And it's nice to be able to do that for people. I feel like I've also captured people in ways that they've never even seen of themselves. And so it's really heartwarming to show somebody a picture that you've taken of them, and they're like, oh my God. So, yeah. I enjoy that. I haven't been taking as many pictures as I thought I would up here. It's been pretty bright.
Yeah.
But it's made my backpack very heavy to carry up all my stuff. So I have
in this heat.
Yeah. So, but I've tried to take pictures of the northern lights when I'm here in the winter. It's really hard because I don't like staying up late. It's not even the cold, it's the time.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Do you want to get started?
Yeah.
Do you want to try do some? So, we can do one of 2 earrings. I brought a bunch of stuff. This is my personal collection.
Nice.
I wasn't sure what colors you wanted to use, so I just dumped like one of every color in of my collection. So you can just, I'm not sure.
What kind of beads are these?
So these are delicacy beads. I think my sister said the difference is they're laser cut. I think makes the difference.
That's cool.
I like them because they're not round.
Yeah.
They're more squared off, so you get like a straighter line.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I chose to go with these ones. Oh, they're there. It's like, I swear I had them. So we can do, like, I was thinking maybe we could do these, we can use these triangles because it won't take as long to just do them. So there's 3 different sizes that we can use. I just got these in today. I have to order all of my stuff from Amazon.
Oh, okay.
And then ship it to Whitehorse, and then ship it to here.
Oh.
So
It's one of the things I don't have to deal with living in. So
I like using the medium size. So you can see that there's 3.
Oh.
There's small, medium, and large.
Yeah.
I have like so many bags of these, and I only ever pick out the medium ones.
Okay.
Because to me, when I'm doing the artwork or the beadwork, it's I like the way it has to look and sit right. And for me, sometimes expanding an earring, pattern, expanding it bigger, it just doesn't have the same eye-catching. Yeah, like it just doesn't, it's not as eye-catching for me.
Yeah.
So I only ever use the medium, but you can use whichever size you're comfortable with. And I've seen this on, I got this pattern off of, what is it called? Pinterest. And it's just, like the triangles, and then the bottom triangle, and then the V's. So we can go ahead and do that. If you look, it's just like you do the pattern from the top, the top row. So it's 2, 2, 4, 2, 2, and then you alternate the second one to white, and then these ones, it's the same thing.
Intricate.
Yeah. So we'll just do the first row, and then we'll go bead down from there.
Okay.
Yeah. So you've done the brick stitch pattern?
I have.
Okay.
I've never actually used like jewelry like this before.
Okay.
So, but I saw my sister doing it. I know how to do it now.
So this is my needle.
Oh, cool.
So it's very bent.
Oh.
It's going to break
So
soon.
you did that on purpose?
No,
Oh.
that's just the natural rhythm.
Of you.
Yeah, it's just the natural. So there's 3 different, for the beading needles, there's 3 different sizes.
Yeah.
10, 12, and 13. I usually use 13.
Cool.
But-
See, I don't even know these details. I just use the needles that I got given one time.
So like,
That's
for
the
me,
quality of
hold-
Nikita Larter being.
hold this needle.
Okay.
Do you feel how fine that is?
That is really fine.
And I don't use that one because it hurts. I poke myself a lot with
Yeah.
that specific one. So I use this one.
Cool.
And it feels a lot thicker, but they do get thinner because if you feel mine, it's thinned
Ooh.
out.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You're a bead machine.
I bead 4 to 6 hours a day
Really?
in the last 3 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. I've made 67.
Oh my God.
Nope.
What's that?
That's not right.
You're counting?
Like around, yeah, over 70 pairs of earrings in the last 3 weeks. Yeah.
Not me.
Yeah. Well, this is like my part-time job, and this is like my second part-time job. So you can pick whichever colors you want. I always use these.
See the picture again?
Yes.
Cool. I've got my colors.
Okay. And if you want, you don't need to use these ones for the base. Like for the triangles, you can change the triangle colors. Like you can pick, instead of white and gold, you can pick 2 other ones. It's just a pattern.
Yeah.
I just use white and gold because
That's your...
gold is what I use for everything, which you will see. These are, like, I buy the 22 karat
Ooh.
gold plated. Yeah, I buy, yeah.
It's cool seeing, like, that's what I was saying earlier about, like, interacting with other artists and seeing how they operate, because, you know, your thing is gold.
Yeah, I love using gold and everything. And
Oh,
there's difference.
Holy.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell anybody. That's a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah.
Wow.
So
You've really invested in this.
I have.
And
It's-
how much, you're charging nice and well, right?
Yes.
Good.
It's another part-time job, and I actually just got my very first invite to do an event.
Okay.
NWT Arts
Oh.
called me
Yeah.
2 days ago. I had just registered as an artist,
Yeah.
and I applied to go to be a cohort for the Winnipeg Art Gallery. I applied for that, and
That new Inuit art gallery?
yes,
Wow.
I applied for that to be a show and sell
Okay.
artist.
Yeah.
And that's not until November, and they called me 2 days ago, and they were like, we have an event,
Yeah.
would you like to go? It's in August, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, yes, I want to go. And I was like, okay, wait, what day is this for? And she said August 10th, and my heart sunk. My wedding's August 12th. And I was like, my very first event I've ever been invited to.
Oh, so you can't go?
No,
Aww.
I'd rather get married.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah. So you can pick your colors.
Definitely hold that against your husband.
No. I'm like,
Did you choose the date?
yeah. Well, we chose it together, actually.
Nice.
He didn't want the 13th. We chose August. See,
Ooh.
this is plastic,
Yeah.
and my scissors are getting dull with the
Is
plastic.
there a sharpener you can you even sharpen those baby ones?
I don't know. I just keep buying them just because they're not expensive.
Really?
Yeah.
I bought some recently and I thought they were more expensive than they would be.
Yeah.
Are you a beater who ties knots?
Nope. No. I just, I do on these ones, actually.
Yeah.
I don't do it otherwise because what I do is I just leave a tail,
Yeah.
and then once I'm done, I snip it and then burn it. So that will create the knot on its own. Do you want to use the medium and follow that pattern?
Sure.
Yeah? Okay, so
Yeah.
these 2 medium-sized ones. So we are going to do, and I've never done beading on the show. I've never actually taught anyone how to do beading.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I thought you suggested it because that's what you do.
No, I was like, what can we do to keep our hands busy? Because like I said, I do like to keep things interactive.
Yeah.
And Tamara has often said, we'll do a beading episode as a backup in case, we have no one. Yeah, it's always there in the back of our minds that's always backup.
That's cool.
And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to see. Yeah, she's a beader. We can bead something together. And then I was like, do you want to bead a necklace? And I was kind of wondering why. You're like, yeah, sure. And I was like, well, what kind of, do you want to do one of yours? Do you want to do one? I just wasn't sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So did you pick which colors you want to?
Yeah, I've got these ones.
Those ones? And do you want to go with the gold and the white?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
It's these colors.
So you need 4 colors then.
Okay.
Yep, you need 4 colors. You need 4 colors. 2 for these triangles.
Yeah.
And then 1 color for the V and 1 color for the center part.
Oh, I was copying this because the white's the same. I think I can make it work with 3 colors.
Are you sure? You can. You can do 2 colors right here, 1 solid color, and then pick one of those
I'll
colors.
challenge myself. And actually what I think I'll do is I'll just make these solid blocks, so it's just like 3 V's.
Okay, yeah,
I'm
you can do
rogue.
that. Okay, I'm going to show the camera. So this is the type of earring we're going to do. And she's creating her own pattern.
You gotta keep your mind sharp.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I'm doing an easier pattern because that looks really intricate.
So once you thread your needle,
Mm-hmm.
all I do is just tie. I don't even double knot it. I just tie 1 knot like that at a corner.
Yeah.
So once you're ready, you can.
Oh, jeez. It's a good thing I didn't get my nails done this week.
I've seen beaders do their nails for that, like get their nails done so it can help them with their beading. I don't know how. That takes a lot of skill because I can't. I have to have my nails trimmed down.
I have learned on this trip that I have inevialate hands, so
You do.
embracing them.
When I look at my hands, I see my Nanak's hands.
Nice.
Like right down to the shape.
Oh, is your Nanak alive?
No, she recently passed. Not recently. She passed about a year and a half ago.
Oh.
Yeah, but I was really close to her, so
Yeah.
I had a lot of time to look at her hands, her beautiful, hardworking hands. I'm not sure which color.
I tie it at the end.
So, I'll help you with that part. You just tie a knot. That.
Cool.
And then you're going to start this way. Like keep that out.
Yep.
And then you're going to start beading across that way.
Okay.
Yep. So do you know how to do the brick stitch, right?
I'm drawing on year-old information. I'm
Okay.
trying.
Okay. So I will just pick my colors.
Do you put 1 bead on?
2 beads at a time.
Okay.
2 beads at the very beginning.
Yeah. Under the wire. I'm jump starting this.
Just a second. I'm gonna go with I love, I don't know if it's called muted colors.
Is this even a color now? Where did that picture go? Thank you. What did I want? What order should I do it in? I wonder who the lucky person who's gonna get these earrings is. Are you listening?
So,
We could bid our earrings on live TV.
oh my goodness. Maybe I'll start doing jewelry again.
Yeah, I'll start live streaming my jewelry.
So what I do is I put the 2 beads on.
I'll-
You're gonna pick your pattern?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll wait for
I don't
you.
know if I want that. Next time, you should send the pattern, and then I don't have to keep bugging you for your phone. The next time.
You can follow me on Instagram. They're all there.
Okay.
Yeah.
What color should I do? Should I do... Trying to apply my thing to it. Should I do in between? What if I did that on the inside? This is the part of beadwork that I get so fixated in.
So you see how I picked just that is always the same for me.
Yeah.
So that way I just have to pick two colors that coordinate together on the inside. It becomes like so, when you're beading that much, it's easier to just go, oh, look, here's like a plum.
Yeah.
And here's a pink, and they'll look nice together. Like,
or you could be like me, just try anything and have a giant graveyard.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, I'm gonna do this color.
So you just take this at the end.
Yeah.
And then I put the needle through.
Yeah.
Like this. Pull the beads as you're going, like kind of use your finger to get them like that.
Yeah.
I'll wait for you.
Okay. And then you go back through them?
Yep, you just like, it's exactly like the brick stitch. You go up this way.
Yeah.
And kind of, I straighten it.
Yeah.
And if you just pull up, it should straighten both beads to look like that before you can go down.
There we go. Yeah, something that I was part of the Toronto Inuit Association. I got my tail in there. And we started doing like beading lessons and crocheting lessons throughout the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And something that I learned in participating in those is that I can bead, so I'm a great participant, but I was like, oh man, it's a whole other skill to teach people, especially if they don't know. How come it's not coming out? This silly little thing. This string is trying to humiliate me. Okay, there we go. I'm there.
Okay, and then you go back down, and you go up. You go under, like, so I'm gonna go like this, and I'm gonna go down underneath this metal.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So did you go up?
I went through both of them.
Okay, let's see.
I might go rogue again. Oh, I see. I'm not even...
So you go right to left instead of left to right.
You know what? I might pose a challenge. I might see if I can figure it out the way my brain's thinking and see if I end up with the same thing as you.
Like I said, the very, very first one I'd ever done took me 4 hours.
Yeah.
It wasn't this pattern, but it was this, it wasn't this earring, but it's the same brick stitch pattern.
Yeah.
So, do you see? So now it's just one bead that you're gonna go down behind.
Yep.
And then
Through.
up through.
Okay.
And then it will create that line that you need.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I think we're gonna be running out of time.
I know. We're gonna get 3 beads on here by the end
That's
of the
okay.
show.
That's okay. I can say that I taught someone
Yeah.
someone how to do this beading. You could be my very first student. I've been asked to recently teach
Oh.
how to do beading,
Yeah.
and they wanted it for June, and I'm like, yeah, sure, I'd love to, and I'm just busy.
Yeah. Time's going by really quickly.
I couldn't, like, I took a break in between when February, March, April, May. I took a break from a lot of beading, and in that little break, all of a sudden it's June, and I'm like 3 weeks before the Arctic market, or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do the Arctic market. And I started beading, and it took me just under 2 weeks to bead 37 pairs of earrings.
Really?
And when I got to the Arctic market and I seen, like, that's my very first time ever trying to sell earrings.
Is that in Whitehorse?
Here.
Oh.
It's here on the weekends.
Okay.
And when I did it, when I was setting up, I was a little bit late getting there because it would only take me a few minutes.
Yeah.
And all of the professionals
Yeah.
that have done many Arctic markets, their tables were full, they were prepared, they looked presentable. I was just like, here I am with my 30 pairs of earrings is a lot of earrings, but these tables were full. They
Yeah.
had a lot of stuff. And I was like, how long have these people been preparing? Like, all of these artists and cooks and everyone, they were prepared. They knew what to expect. But it was really successful, and it was so much fun. I couldn't stop smiling and saying hello to everyone.
Nice.
Everyone's been so kind. And
was it a good
greeting.
sale?
Yeah, I sold 34 pairs out
Cool.
of 37. And do you know the colors that didn't sell?
The ones that weren't white and gold?
Yep. I chose the 3 different earrings to make in the Inuvialuit colors, the
Yep.
black, white, and red. And those were the earrings that...
That didn't sell?
Nope. I only made 3 pairs in 3 different styles, and they didn't go at all. And I was like, oh my goodness, so I'm not even going to do them.
Just anti-Inuvialuit.
But they sold in Whitehorse.
Oh,
Yeah, so they are gone. They have homes.
that's good.
And then I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do the, what is it, Akata?
Attica?
Attica, yes.
Oh.
I was like, I'm gonna do that. And I signed up, and I started beading a week before.
Mhm.
And I was like, I'm not even gonna feel bad if I don't get it done. Like, I'm not gonna feel bad if I don't get the earrings sent out. And I did send them out late. They accepted them still.
Really?
I sent 15 pairs, and they sold out in 3 days. So I was really excited.
We have 1 minute left.
Okay.
That's a cool... I really want to go to Attica and buy things. Not
Let's
sell
see.
things. I
Nice.
got
So,
6 beads on.
and you don't have to worry. I'm sure you know about keeping them straight, because they'll straighten out.
Yeah.
With the more beads you put under, it all straightens out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So,
Thank you for
How
teaching
much?
me.
yeah. Well, I wanted to try, and I wanted to see what we can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can give you the
Yeah.
all of that, so that way you can make.
Finish them?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
I don't mind doing that. Yeah. So, thank you for coming on. I enjoyed getting to know you on camera.
Likewise.
Yeah, and meeting in person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully we can see each other again when you because you're leaving town tomorrow.
Yes.
Yes. So, thank you for coming on.
Okay, Nini.
Yes, and thank you everyone to tuning in and watching this episode of the Tunnganarniq Show.